I'm in Prague. Is that what I say? Why am I here? Well, obviously I gotta take you guys to these really cool places to learn about Bitcoin because Bitcoin is global. And actually, the Czech Republic plays a huge role in the growth of Bitcoin. They used to be a communist country, which means obviously they've been suppressed for so many years, 40 years to be exact. For those of you that don't know, Czech is known as the Bitcoin capital. It is because it had a lot of huge monumental moments happen in Czech. The first hardware wallet was invented in Czech Republic. Czech is also the home of the first Bitcoin mining pool. Kind of crazy. And it makes sense when you go back in the line and you sort of look at the beginnings of Czech.
So the brief history of Czechoslovakia. So after World War I, it was one of the top 10 countries in the world. In 1948, the Communist Party got into power, and we had a communist regime for 40 years. In 1993, the Czechoslovakia peacefully split apart into Czech Republic and Slovakia. For the past 30 years, Czech Republic has been very prosperous, kind of a free market country. Bitcoin took hold here very quickly on.
You see, in 1989, they ended a 40-year regime of communism. This is important because after decades under communism, it sort of sparked a new era of freedom. I became a Bitcoin pioneer with the invention of the hardware wallet, Trezor.
Always making content? Is that what you do?
All right. How to store your Bitcoin safely. We're also going to explore what is cold storage and how to store your Bitcoin on a cold storage. Don't get freaked out. We're gonna do it in a very chill way.
So cold storage is basically a way of taking your keys, the actual keys that give you access to Bitcoin, and putting them into your hands. Bitcoin itself exists, you can think of it as existing on the internet. So it's up there on the blockchain at all times, but the keys to access it can either be in your hands or in the hands of someone else. So whenever you keep cryptocurrency on an exchange, the exchange actually has those keys, it's not you. With a hardware wallet, those keys are in your hands, they're on the device that you hold. So you can actually access the blockchain yourself rather than someone else holding it.
Side story, I went to the bank the other day with my dad. It took us more than an hour to get help and wire transfer the monies. Then, when the money was received, it took a total of 6 hours for the person that we were sending the money to receive it. What does that mean? That it is really not your money. You're literally asking permission to use your own money. Before banks, everybody used to own their money, but because we have banks now, everybody has sort of forgotten about this huge responsibility and they think it's easier to just give their money to the bank. To self-custody your Bitcoin, it is a huge responsibility. And I think people have sort of lost that along the way.
What self-custody means is that you have the control, full control over your money. It's like when you have dollars in your wallet. You can give those dollars, that cash, to anybody, and you're the only one that can give them that cash. You're the only one that has control over that money. Whereas when you have dollars in a bank account, let's say you want to pay somebody, you have to ask the bank to move that money for you. And if they choose not to, which they're allowed to, then you can't use your own money.
What would you say to someone who feels intimidated by cold storage?
You should be a little bit scared of cold storage because you are the only person that has those keys. If those keys are gone, nobody else will be able to help you. There is no customer care for Bitcoin lost keys. But what you should be doing, take it step by step, very slowly, and understand the next step that you're going to take before you take it. So before you go to self-custody, start with a custodial wallet. Learn how it is to move in and out. Then get yourself a mobile non-custodial wallet with your 12, 24 words. Start seeing how to do that before you go spend money, real money, on cold storage device like a Trezor wallet or something like that.
What I'm learning is that yes, it's sort of complicated to learn how to store your Bitcoin safely. If we want Bitcoin to be what it's intended to do and eliminate the third parties, then we need to simplify self-custodying. You know, let's be real, Bitcoin is a technology and we gotta improve that technology and make it accessible for 8 billion people. You won't get the full benefits of Bitcoin if you're just using it on an exchange.
But isn't it just
easier to go to a bank?
Well, it might be easier for some people, but it's not safer. If you have an account with a bank or an account with an exchange, you don't hold the Bitcoin, you don't hold the money. The banks today don't actually hold the amount that you see on your balance, on your account balance. They can freely lend it out. So if you truly want to own your money, you need to hold Bitcoin and you have to have a self-custody. You need to have this recovery seed written down and kept secure.
As I dive deeper into understanding cold storage, I can't help but to think of my students back in BTC EVA. How can I help them fully grasp this concept? I think it's time for me to rethink how I'm structuring the classes and how I teach them about Bitcoin. Let's go back home, fam.